You alive this week?
Yeah, well, almost.
Almost. Oh, that's better than last week.
We'll see. If I drop off dead, then it was terminal.
Okay.
Anyway, so I just got to the computer to jump in.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yep. Thanks for calling.
Yep. Bye. All right. Let's queue up one more while we wait. All right, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Our next item up for bid, this lovely living room set, complete with grand piano.
Ta-da! Ta-da! I think it's two different showcases.
There we go. And now we got this recliner up for you.
All right.
I found a collection of 80-something different Prices Right cues. I mean,
80. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. I mean, they got all your favorites there.
That could be a good trivial question. How many different?
Way more than 80.
I know, but people would, oh
yeah.
5.
Well, some of them.
I got a disc that says 80, so.
Some of them are production compositions that have names, and some of them are just cues, and some of them are different variations of the same cue. Like for example, this one that you may have heard many times is called "Amen, Brother Herbert," and I'm sure you're seeing all kinds of items being described right now in your head. Our next item up for bid is this lovely coffee maker, the Mr. Coffee Maker. I don't know, complete with the flavor crystals.
With the flavor, you gotta have that.
But you've heard this tune before, right?
I don't recall this one. I was never a big watcher of it. Watch it a little bit. You get the people in the chicken suits and whatever crap.
The people in the chicken suits?
The audience members that were wearing weird shit.
Oh, no, that's Let's Make a Deal. This is Price is Right.
Oh, aren't they the same show? Joking, of course.
There are some similarities, but one has lasted many, many, many years, and another has. Well, actually, is Wayne Brady still doing? Let's make a deal, but they brought it back after it being gone for many years.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, the only place I really like to watch Wayne Brady is on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
That
he was so good in that show too.
Yeah.
In fact, when they replaced Drew Carey with that woman, I forget what her name is. Oh, no difference. She was funny too. Drew, I thought you were the star.
Yeah. No, he was. Well, I mean, Drew really just hosted it. It was the other people on the stage that actually.
Yeah, but there was usually one skit where he would swap places with one of the guys, and so he would be able to participate.
I mean, Ryan, Colin, and Wayne really carried that show. I mean, and whoever happened to be in the fourth chair would,
Yeah.
But
yeah, they definitely got in people that could pull it off.
Yeah. But anyways, so we are here at Mod Pro.
Wait a minute. No, I thought we were here.
We're here in virtual land.
Yes.
We're here. We're there. We're here.
The ether.
And Mod Pro is first.
Yay, Mod Pro! You win the prize. What is do we have a prize for him?
This lovely coffee maker. She wins this lovely tie. Since I spent so much time talking about this tie last week, I went and dug it out. Although I probably have to. Yeah.
We'll have to zoom in on your image so that people can see it better.
Yeah, it is
obnoxious orange.
Yellow. It's a
yellow.
Lovely yellow tie. Here, I'll give you a little close up.
Oh, now it looked kind of a little bit of brownish, yellowish brown. Interesting what lighting does to things, right?
So that there was the lovely tie that my dad picked out for me for, I believe that was a birthday gift to get in good with the boss at the bank whose favorite color was yellow. A little ask-us and never hurts. And of course, the thing is that the boss, the president of the bank, was rarely at that branch. My boss at that branch was Margie, who had no qualms telling me that's one damn ugly tie you're wearing.
Right.
But I kept it.
So you were playing to the wrong audience.
Yeah. Rob. Yeah. But it was a very thoughtful gift from my dad, and I always appreciate
Mod Pro.
That.
I'm sorry, the name Mod Pro doesn't give you a gender hint. Sorry. We know Sparky is a guy, though.
But Mod Pro's been writing in for how long now? You're just now figuring out, Brian. Well, for all we know.
Well, today marks week 3 that I've been sick like an asshole.
Okay. You can use that as an excuse.
This again. One time, I know.
We will give you.
Mod Pro, if I screw it up again, I go, oops.
Now, Mod Pro's been in Doom for years.
We're gender neutral here, right?
We are. We're neutral on many things.
Everything. Right.
And we're very not neutral on many others, but that's okay. It's all
we pretend like we're neutral on them.
We pretend we're neutral, and then we get ourselves in trouble. But we are here, and so I have a little update. So last week I mentioned that. So I've been making all kinds of mistakes.
Really?
Yeah. I spent way too much money on a suit.
Where did you end up going?
Men's Warehouse. So here was the dilemma. The dilemma is that I have a jacket that I can't even button, and it's to the point where now the last few family events I've gone to, which was my sister's wedding and I think there was a funeral in there too. Basically, I've been getting away with wearing this jacket and just not buttoning it, and just because you don't need to button it, but it's very apparent it's too tight if you try to button it. And I think at my sister's wedding, I may have had to have buttoned it. Maybe I got it buttoned well enough while I was standing up to get away with those pictures. I don't remember the detail. I'd have to look at the pictures.
Now, were you more than just a family member in that wedding?
Well, yeah, it's my sister's wedding. So,
but you're just a family member,
right?
Were you in the wedding party?
I wasn't in the wedding party, but I was in the family pictures. Like,
Of
I
course.
had to be there early.
In the family bit.
Yeah, I was in the family bit, but I wasn't. Now, so it's getting to the point where it's like this jacket's just too tight. I put it on, and it's tight on the shoulders. You can see it's tight. It just don't look good. And the dress pants I have are an elastic waist 38. I can fit in an elastic waist 40 or a non-elastic waist 42. Elastic waist 38. I mean, that elastic's gonna snap in the middle of whatever event I wear it to. So I was like, it's time to get a new suit. And I should have done what I did last time. Go to Macy's, find a jacket that fits off the rack, find a pair of pants that fit off the rack, and call it a day. But I decided, you know what, let's do this right this time, because also I'm going to be in a wedding party this year. Now, but it's not one of these wedding parties where we're all getting matching suits. Basically, my sister's fiance said black suit, just have a black suit, be fine. Just everyone wear, I just want you, like, he don't care, he's pretty chill, just like, black suit, stand next to me, I'll marry your sister, all good. So that was so I need a suit for the upcoming funeral, and I need a suit for the further upcoming wedding. So I figure I may as well get the right suit for both events. So I go into Men's Warehouse and I say, I need a generic black suit to have on hand for special occasions, weddings, things like that, just something. And he's like, he kind of looks at me and he says, classic, or I forget what he said. He said, and I said, I don't know. What's the other option? He's like, well, you're not slim. I'm like, no, definitely not. Classic it is. At least he didn't take me over to the David Byrne section.
Right.
Fat is what we need. So he measures me, gets the tape measure, does this, does that, and he goes, well, I don't have your size in black, but I have your size in charcoal, which if you look at charcoal, that looks black. I mean, this is black, this is charcoal. Could he really? I'm like, well, I have a wedding coming up this year, and I was told to have a black suit for that. And he said, oh, well, yeah, if you're standing next to other people in black suits wearing a charcoal suit, people are going to see the... But then I'm kind of like going off of my head, like there's no matching suits at this wedding, but just to have a black suit. So would he even notice? Would my sister and her fiance even notice if I came in a charcoal suit and just said, well, it looks black to me?
Right.
Like, but I'd rather not. I mean, they gave me one job. Show up in a black suit. So Sparky writes in, how about the classic fat section?
Well, that's what we were trying to avoid, right?
That's what they didn't take me to the fat section. They just took me to the not slim section, which is fine by me. So at this point, I'm kind of, I guess he kind of detects that I'm a little anxious about making this purchase soon. So he goes, well, we do have the expensive option in black in stock right now. But most people don't want to spend $400 on a jacket. And I'm like, I too don't want to spend $400 on a jacket. Not to mention like another 100 or so on the pants. Not to mention the alterations. Not to mention throwing a dress shirt in there while you're at it. And but I'm like, I don't know when this funeral's happening. In the past, funerals have happened pretty quickly. So I'm like, so I just don't want to be caught unprepared for a funeral. I really don't. And so I'm like, whatever. I can afford it. How often do I buy a nice suit? And it comes with a little American flag pin. Now, the sales guy said, and it comes with a little American flag pin, like Donald Trump wears. And he saw the look on my face. And he said, like all the U.S. presidents wear. So he saved it. I kind of gave him a look like, that's a loaded line there. You got like a 50-50 chance at best with that one.
That's funny. Yeah, all of them.
I'm like, I don't. Are you sure you're in sales? But he did save himself quick, and I really needed a suit.
And I just got an ad for Ross. The stupid Twitch made me sign in again.
Ah, nice.
And thank you very much.
Well, that's a good thing that they made you sign in again, because you want those cookies to expire eventually. Because there was a channel I was watching that they recently got hacked. And the reason they got hacked was because one of their employees, who they did not train well, they said they don't blame the employee for what happened, that it's onto them to properly train people. But the employee received an email that looked like a legit sponsor deal or something that had a PDF attached to the email, and the English was proper. It wasn't one of these bad grammar, see it a mile away spam emails. It looked like a legit promo offer or sponsorship deal. And the dude opened the PDF, and this thing was actually an executable that looked like a PDF. And it grabbed like the session cookies from the person's browser, so that they can then, without even needing a password, just use that session to start running fake streams of Elon Musk talking about crypto with a link in the description that you could click on that took you to a page that promised for every 1 crypto you give us, we'll give you 2 back. You can totally trust us. It's on the internet, so you know it's true. And every time the owner of this channel tried to shut it down, it just started right back up. And it's because but anyways, that was just an interesting video I watched this past weekend. So anyways, I bought the suit. I got the alterations made, and now I have a suit, a way too expensive suit. I got out for under $800. I'll say that much. Damn, he spent more than $700 for a suit.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's made in America by Americans, an American factory with Italian material.
Yeah, but right. Some Italian sweatshop in New York City.
Yeah. Now, Sparky writes in, I find it odd in Boston a salesman would even bring up Trump. I found it odd, too. I don't want most Boston people despise it. Well, mind you, I'm closer to Providence than Boston, but generally Massachusetts, New England, kind of more liberal-leaning area. But certainly that doesn't mean that it's 100% or 90 or even 80. I mean, we had a Republican governor for quite a while. We've had a number of Republican governors in our history. I mean, I don't, but
sure.
I know our last governor was a Republican for a number of years. It was quite popular. I didn't vote for him, but I think every state. I mean, some states are less swing than others, and we're certainly not a swing state, but we do have a Republican Party and Republicans that are in the, we have.
Yeah, you just don't have any crazies, that's all.
Yeah. I think every state has crazies.
Well, but they could be in either party, right?
Or they could just be at the town hall meeting and live next door to you.
Like so my brother knows a lot of politicians in Connecticut, and he says that a number of them will switch parties. So it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I can run for office if I became a Democrat. So they do.
Darn.
Of course, the other thing they like to do in Connecticut is like, okay, so this guy's got an Italian name and he's in a Polish neighborhood. Oh, well, if I just drop the A or the I at the end of the name, I look like I'm Polish.
Really?
Whatever. Oh, that's common.
Okay. So anyways, I bought the suit.
Did we think that politicians were truthful?
So I bought the suit. Suit's all dealt with, all covered, and then I had we had our PrEaster celebration this past weekend.
What's that again?
PrEaster. See the topic? It says Happy PrEaster.
Oh, it's kind of like pre-Easter.
Yes,
that would be redundant. So you just say PrEaster.
We say Happy PrEaster. That's we coined.
I thought you were going to do something with a priest.
We coined the term this year.
Did I get a little too close on that one?
You know what? Yeah, but there's no other way to do it. And saying pre-Easter is just awkward. So we just stuck with PrEaster, and we all know what it is, and we all know there's no priests involved, unless you go to mass.
Good.
But
okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna try something. I might get bumped off. Hang on.
Okay. He's gonna try something. I don't know what he's gonna try, but he's gonna try to hopefully be right back pretty quickly. So anyways, yeah. So I have the suit, and I'm still kicking myself for doing that. And speaking of,
you get bumped off. Unbelievable, huh?
What's that?
I did get bumped off.
Huh.
What I did is in a different session, I logged into StreamYard because I've been out of it. It never remembers who the hell I am, which is annoying. So I have to type in everything, do all my settings again. So I said, well, what if I just reset this screen? Hey, Dune, let's see if it works. Well, it did work, but it did bump me off.
So Sparky writes in, okay, we talked about politics. Now it's religion time. Johnny covering all the bases. Dune said, also known as Fuck Dune Week. Had to be said. Or 3 Dot Weekend. Well, I don't know. I thought I mentioned last week, like I was going to be out of town in Jersey the next week. And if I forgot, my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was related to another comment from whoever it was that said missed you yesterday. Modbro said it, I think.
Yeah, because so we had our PrEaster celebration. Basically, growing up, we typically
is this a family deal?
This is kind of a family deal. See, what happened was growing up, we always went to my grandmother's or my grandparents for Easter. Our family, my aunt and uncle's family, our cousins, and we all go there, and so we always kind of had that gathering, and but now my grandmother's not around anymore to host it, and at some point the Easter celebration started happening at my dad's house. My dad and my stepmom would host. But my stepmom's got 3 kids, all with their own, 3 adult kids, all with their families and lots of grandkids. And so it's got to be too much. And so my aunt and uncle and cousins can't fit at the Easter celebration that my dad and stepmom throw. So one year, it was kind of that awkward type of thing where it's like, do you think you could have your own Easter celebration, and we just don't have the room for it? And so it's not awkward anymore. It's just sometimes as the years go on and generations come up, family gatherings just naturally change. This was one that there had to be a conversation one year, and so now my cousin throws a PrEaster celebration to have us over like a week or a few weeks before Easter, so we could still kind of have that Easter gathering with all of us together,
right.
and then have our own separate Easter celebrations on Easter.
Right.
So,
but since your family doesn't have any priests in it, it could get a little confusing on the name PrEaster.
Well, because it's pre-Easter. That's why.
I know.
That's why I spelled it out in the topic. I'm just trying to.
Now, I did work with a fellow back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
He was a former priest.
Okay. How many years you get? No, kidding. Sorry. Dark humor.
I don't know. I think he got forever in hell because he got excommunicated because he decided to marry one of his parishioner that was divorced.
Wow. Well, if you're gonna go down, you may as well go big.
Go down in flames.
Yeah. No, you cover all.
Well, and the sad
your
thing is that
bases.
they wouldn't have a PrEaster celebration because his family decided they would have nothing to do with him. So talk about a tough decision, huh?
No,
I'm going to marry this woman. Not only my church is going to kick me out, but my family's going to kick me out. So there would be no PrEaster celebration.
Well, now Dune totally misunderstood. I didn't get kicked out of Easter, and there were no straws drawn. Basically, my dad's family, my uncle's family, split to each have their own Easter celebration.
Yeah.
So my uncle's family throws a PrEaster celebration to invite my dad's family over, and then I have Easter with my dad and stepmom and all their family. And
so you will then have an Easter celebration.
Oh yeah, I'll go to my dad's for Easter.
Double down for Easter.
I go to my cousins for PrEaster. I go to my dad's for Easter.
Where is the cousin?
Jersey.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
the island of
not even that
Jersey.
far away.
The island of Jersey. I take a flight to Europe, and I get on a boat, and they take me to the state of New Jersey.
You know, I was reading this list of cities that are the most miserable in the U.S.
Okay.
And I was scrolling down the list, and it was remarkable how many cities that were just in New Jersey.
Yeah, well,
we're talking Newark. Trenton
Camden,
is on that list.
Trenton, yeah, Jersey City.
There were others that I were not familiar with. Well, like maybe we should give Trenton back to the Hessians, huh?
I don't know.
You're familiar with that history, right?
Sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're
so
from
now
New
you
Jersey.
Now you don't have to tell us.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, it would be.
Right.
So, but anyways, yeah. So I get 2 Easters, not draw straws for Easter. No, 2 Easters. But as Sparky writes in, there's not a lot in California.
Actually, there were a few on the list. Yeah. I mean, considering how big the state is, it's kind of surprising it was so few.
Yeah, but anyways, so
well, the interesting thing is Bakersfield is not on the list. Bakersfield has a larger murder rate than Oakland, California.
Ooh, that's not good. That's
not good for the sales brochure.
No, they probably leave that off.
Yeah.
So anyways, so now normally when I go down to Jersey, I don't do the whole round trip drive in one day. And then I thought to myself, well, why the hell not? Because generally when I go down for PrEaster or for New Year's.
What's the, how many hours is that drive?
Well, it's about 4 hours to my dad's, but it's about 3.5 to my cousin's. So usually I go to my cousin's for New Year's and for PrEaster. And so usually what I'll do is I'll drive down to my dad's the day before, because chill there, have dinner with my dad and stepmom and kind of catch up, and then crash at the guest room for the night, and then the next day drive up to my cousin's, and then after the celebration with my cousins, continue on north because they're in more northern Jersey area. So it just makes sense to just keep continuing north and just drive up home that evening.
Closer to Newark, where it's nice.
But no, closer to New York City.
Well, I mean, Newark is just across the river.
They're in a nice neighborhood. You just
I'm just kidding.
You just got to watch out for the bears. But
bears?
Yeah, apparently that's the reason why they can't put bird feeders out is because they don't want to attract bears.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah, that's a good reason too. Dune writes in, so I spend 2 weeks less than 10 minutes from New Jersey. The week I get back, Johnny goes and spends 2 weekends in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, you guys got New Jersey covered.
Well,
so Camping World, which I follow on Facebook, had this question: what is your worst camping disaster ever? And I posted something that was clever, whatever, not a big deal.
Right.
Nick saw my post and he posted, he went camping once and got up in the middle of the night to go pee.
Right.
And there was a bear right outside of his tent.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
You know what? That works because he got out to pee, and I'm pretty sure that story ends with him peeing right then and there.
Right on the spot, right.
And then he didn't have to pee anymore.
Right.
It's
I told him he just need to mark, while he's at it, just mark the place.
Now,
hey, bear, this is my territory.
Right.
Mark a few trees here.
Now, the question is, did he keep his change of pants in the tent or was it in the backpack that's hung up on the tree that's on the other side of the bear?
I think the detail was the detail was not there, thank goodness. Because some stories you can't unread.
Because first you say it, then you do it. So, I mean, and I'm thinking the first thing you say when you see the bear is, oh, shit. And,
right.
But anyways.
And hope that it doesn't come out on both ends.
Well, at least it wasn't a cocaine bear.
Yeah.
No? You're not seeing that this is what's in the theaters now. Cocaine Bear. Based on a true story. Of course, the true story is a bear got into some cocaine and died. That's the true story. But that wouldn't make for a good movie. So the movie is bear gets into cocaine and goes on a rage. Which is much more uplifting than bear gets into cocaine and dies. But it'd make for a short movie if they kept to the facts.
Right.
Oh, look, this bear is dead. Roll credits. Cocaine Bear. The true story.
Right. Hey, that was a one cameraman shot, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, it's funny. So Friday I finished working, and I'm chillaxing a bit, and the text thread about the PrEaster gathering starts coming to life again. And one of my sisters goes, oh, what time do you want us to be there on Sunday? And what can I bring? And my cousin replies back and says, we're thinking 1-ish, and we need desserts. And so I start thinking to myself, oh, dessert. I didn't even think of bringing a dessert. Of course I got to bring a dessert. So, and then my sisters are like, coconut bars, brownies. Like, oh, I'll do the coconut bars. You do the brownies. Okay. And I decide, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do the caramel peanut butter Cheerio nests, which is a great recipe. You get a bag of Kraft caramels. You unwrap them all and put them in a pot. And throw in a 1/4 cup of water. You put that over the stove on a medium heat and stir until all the caramels melt into the water, and you got this melted caramel thing going. Throw in 1/3 of peanut butter, stir that in until that all melts in. You get 4 cups of Cheerios. You dump that in, take it off the heat, stir and coat all your Cheerios in your melted caramel peanut butter goodness. And you get a spoon and kind of drop spoonfuls of those Cheerio covered in caramel peanut butter on wax paper. You get a bag of peanut M&Ms. You take a peanut M&M, press it in the middle of each of the batches of or clumps that you've dropped of the Cheerios, and so you got these like nest-shaped Cheerios with a M&M as an egg in the middle. And Sparky says, "You had my attention at Cheerios."
That's right.
Modbro wrote, "You still have my attention," and I'm sure that I mean, it's no cheesecake, but I'm sure I've got Dune's attention too. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, I need to go out to the store and get peanut M&Ms and Cheerios and caramels.
Yeah, do you use regular Cheerios or some special one?
No, regular Cheerios.
Yeah.
So I run out to the store that's just right across the street, which which I know they close earlier than the Stop and Shop down the road. But I check on Google Maps, and they're open till 9. according to Google Maps. So I'm like, okay, I got an hour. I got plenty of time to find a bag of caramels in this damn store. So I walk into the store at 7:55, and immediately once I set foot in the store, they make the announcement that they're closing in 5 minutes. Please bring all your final purchases up to the counter and get the fuck out. And I can't find a bag of caramels anywhere. I'm scrambling. So I put back the box of Cheerios that I had picked up because that was pretty easy to find, and I walked out of the store and drove down. So while I'm walking to my car to go drive to the Stop and Shop that's open till 10 and I know has caramels, I pull out my phone. More chatting happened on the text chat. And they said, oh, well, you do the brownies. I'll do the coconut bars. Okay. Hey, maybe John could do a carrot cake. I'm like,
while you're shopping, they change the order.
Well, I didn't even chime into this. I was just watching this and decided to go do this on my own. I figured I'd surprise everyone with the nests. Like, hey, you need desserts, and they're all talking desserts.
I would have gone with the nests anyway. Oh, I must have missed your text.
Well, I did the carrot cake and the nests.
Oh, okay. So I wrote the story.
So I wrote in okay.
Here comes the credits rolling.
Right. So I wrote in okay, and then went down the Stop and Shop and bought shredded carrots and a box of cream cheese and some walnuts and applesauce, and I was running low on vegetable oil, so I got another bottle of vegetable oil, and I knew I had sugar, flour, and baking soda, baking powder, and cinnamon, and ginger, and nutmeg. So I do what I need.
So was there a choice between using an M&M as the egg or a Cadbury egg?
Well, maybe the mini Cadbury eggs would work, but we've always used the M&Ms. So I use the My sister tried
traditional.
My sister tried doing it with the Cadbury eggs once, but she tried to double the recipe and they got really gooey because something went wrong with the ratios when you doubled it.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, 5-hit doing writing in Bertolli. No. I get the generic store brown vegetable oil. The Bertolli olive oil is for massages. As we learned from Momo. No, I do not get the Bertolli olive oil. And besides, that's you get that at the Costco. You get the Bertolli olive oil. One thing I found out, though, is if you buy pre-shredded carrots, they turn bluish green in a carrot cake.
Oh.
And I never noticed this. It's just that I made the carrot cake, and my brother's girlfriend starts asking me, do you shred your own carrots or you use the already shredded carrots? And I said, I use the already shredded carrots. She goes, well, do you have the problem with the funky color? I'm like, no, not that I know of. And just as she says that, my sister pulls out a green string from her slice of the cake. I'm like, oh, I guess I do. And my sister goes, no, this is fine. Just keep using them. It's fine. I'm like, no, I'm going to shred my own the next time because fuck that.
Yeah, that's weird. That's funny.
Yeah, I guess there's some coating or something that they to preserve them when they pre-shred them that interacts with the baking soda or that was
or the baking process or something. Yeah,
right, something like that. So I don't know. So I'll just shred my own carrots next time. But so now I know. Although it doesn't affect the taste any, it just changes the color.
Right.
But
I mean, after all, some toxins you can't taste.
So who's really looking at the color of the carrots in a carrot cake? Usually you're looking at the cream cheese frosting.
Right.
Cream cheese frosting.
You might notice when you open up when you cut off a piece of the cake, but chances are you're right. You're looking at the other part.
Yeah, chances are it's just part of cake, Anyways, yeah. So that was my PrEaster celebration, and then I found out that apparently it might take it's going to take a few weeks for all the arrangements to get made for the funeral or memorial service or whatever's going on with my grandfather, which has me all worried. Like, oh God, please don't come back and say it's in the last fucking week of April, because I booked basic economy tickets with Delta. which are non-refundable, non-transferable, non-swappable. The only thing they'll give you is some e-credit minus a fee. And they even they don't say what the fee is, but they say if the fee is more than the cost of the tickets, you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir. So I might be out another $500 on top of this $800 suit that I totally could have ordered the cheaper black jacket and waited a few weeks for that to come.
Or gone to Macy's and see what they want.
Or gone to Macy's and bought an even cheaper jacket. Or
Kohl's, if they have it, would have been cheaper even.
Now, mind you, it probably sounds callous for me to complain about this when really the tragedy is that I've lost my grandfather. And believe me, that is the real, I know this is all trivial and the real issue is,
Sure.
Now, Doom
but we're
says,
not here to dwell on that.
Well, the thing is I still have to figure out what's going on the next month, and I still got to sit and wait, and while I'm sitting and waiting, worry is just going to mess up the plans I set up that are irreversible, that maybe I could get credit back. So I don't know, but I go, it's just driving me nuts. This is now 2 vacations that have gone screwy on me. The Disney trip getting crashed by Hurricane Ian, and now my San Fran trip might get crashed by a funeral. So let's and it's not like I'm going to call my aunts up and go, yeah, about all that stuff you're worrying over and upset about right now. Can you make sure that doesn't land in the last week of April? Yeah, I don't know how well that would go over, so I just gotta sit and wait.
Is the aunt doing the planning?
It's got to be, yeah. My aunt's gonna be dealing with.
Well,
that.
I mean, because always worth saying is like, I'm hoping it'll be sooner than later.
Why would I say that?
It would be the truth. That's what you think.
I'm gonna sit my happy ass here, let her plan it however works best for her because she's going through some stuff, and I'll deal with whatever it ends up.
Yeah.
Sparky writes, in the end of April, I think there's a 98% chance you'll be just fine. Well, the thing is they say that it's going to take a few weeks for the remains to make their way up here. So we get a few weeks from now.
Oh, that's right. It's coming up from
Florida. Right. So a few weeks later puts us into mid-April, and then if it takes another few weeks for there to be, this isn't, and this is the thing. I've been completely thrown off by all my previous grandparents I had funerals for were embalmed and pretty much had the funeral right after it happened. This one's going a little differently in that it's cremation and it's weeks out to transfer things, and at that point you could just have it whenever because it's not.
So there's also cremation involved.
Right.
Is that being done there? And so
that's being done in Florida.
Yeah.
So
they'll just send an urn up from Florida.
Right. That's easier to transport.
I don't know why a cremation couldn't be like 3 days after the event.
Well, that might have already happened at this point, but apparently
and shipping should have been another few days.
Well,
so a week.
Look, I'm getting things secondhand or third hand.
Sure.
Basically, I had a few moments with my sister at PrEaster while we were saying goodbye because we forgot to talk about it earlier. And I was like, have you heard anything? She goes, well, I said it's a few weeks. Now, mind you, my sister could be going off of week-old information. That'll be a few weeks. So maybe it's 1 week. Maybe in 1 week things will be here.
Right. Maybe go next week.
Right. So next week things could be in Jersey, and then it's a case of scheduling something and getting. I don't know. But Mod Pro, thank you so much. Mod Pro Reagan, sorry to hear about your grandpa. Thank you. It's sad. He lived a long, fulfilling life.
How old was he?
Turned 94 a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a good run.
And if you're gonna go of old age, it may as well be quick.
I
when
lost
the
my
time
sister-in-law
comes.
early part of the year, and she was 81, which, yeah, it's a little light on the years
Now, Sparky
by
writes in.
today's standards.
Sparky writes in. Can't she start the plans before he gets there? She's doing plans. I don't know how she's doing them. I don't know what she's doing, and I've not asked her. She communicated to my sister. My sister communicated to me, which was basically notification that that he passed, and that more information will be forthcoming. But the only details I have a time frame is few weeks for things to get up here. So I don't know what else my aunt's doing, and I'm not going to bug her asking her what she's doing or how she's doing this, because that's the last thing she needs.
Well, yeah, maybe the thing to do is ask the sister, is this going to be held at a funeral home? Is it held at a church or at the cemetery?
I
What do
don't
you know?
see. That's the thing. I mean, all my grandmother's was a church funeral, and a cemetery, and I generally a plot is bought for two, so I think he's going to the same place as the last one, but I just don't know if they're having a
Oh,
church
the grandmother's
funeral.
already gone.
Yeah, she died when I was in college.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, knock
Yeah.
on wood, hopefully there's a spot that was set aside, because
Well,
sometimes that doesn't get set up properly. So then, like, well, okay, now we're screwed.
Well, I gotta say this was another one of these. I don't know if you call this shower thought, although I wasn't having it in the shower. It was more of a talking thought, because these are things that you don't really think about until moments like this in time, when you're dealing with the loss of someone and an upcoming funeral, and wait, I guess, but I know that when we needed to deal with a burial plot for my mother. My dad did the 2-for-1, and I gotta say that kind of gives me the willies, the thought of a place with my name on it that I know I'm going to end up. But that's that I think is how I mean. I think both sets of my grandparents had prearrangements, or I don't know, but
So my mother-in-law stated that, yeah, she was going to be buried next to her husband, normal. And she said that her name was on the stone with the date,
with the
the date
born
of
date.
birth dash, and then there was a 19 blank blank. So she felt she had to die before the end of that century. And she did. But the reality is that was not on the stone. She just thought that it was.
She thought there was a 19 on the stone.
Yeah, so it was up to her to be dead.
I don't know. I don't know if I could deal with that, having a headstone with my name on it waiting for me. Like, knowing that this is the end of the... I guess we all know the end of the road is death. Whether or not
someplace
a plot of ground is ready for you or not, there's no changing that. But still, that's the type of thing that gives me a little bit of the willies. That, like, that
so here's the other
scenario.
Spot
exists.
So here's the other scenario. So my brother died 30 years ago. Okay, and they bought a plot, the two plots, one for him and his wife, and she just died. So in all the arrangements, you kind of go, okay, so do we put in a second stone there, one for her, a separate one? Or do you replace his stone with a combined? And that's what we did. So now we'll have a stone with his name and information on it that's not going to be used anymore.
Couldn't
now,
you have...
a friend of hers had that same thing happen with, I think it was parents or whatever. And so the original stone, with his name on it, ended up in a patch as a park bench in her backyard. Okay, creepy. Let's go sit on Dad's grave.
That's creepy. Yeah. Couldn't you just bought a second stone of the same height and same stone type and butted it next to that?
Well,
and
okay.
got like get some like spackle or something, or
Actually, the space for the stone wasn't a separate stone wasn't big enough. But
I
we
see.
did look at that. It's like, oh yeah, that wouldn't fit. So you'd have to have.
You know how when you're writing and you get to the end of the line and you start writing the rest of the word kind of going down the edge of the paper?
Yes,
right. Could they have done something like that?
Right.
Maybe on the edge of the grain stove, Ed
Or
so-and-so,
she was a very
19
artistic person, so the whole thing could be like in swirls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're totally now when they have the gravestone with the
As the show gets even darker.
When you have the couple gravestone that one has passed and one hasn't, and they put the name on there and the born year, but they don't have the death year yet.
Yeah.
Does someone literally come out there with a chisel? Because aren't those usually engraved by machine? But when you have it out in the cemetery, does someone come out with a chisel and hand chisel in the death year?
I think the
or
stone
is there a travel machine? Or do they bring the stone back into the shop?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it depends on the cemetery. I've heard it. They take the stone into the shop to have it done. Or, yeah, you could have a travel machine where they...
So the stones are removable.
Yeah, hey, Sparky, you got it. That's right. That's great. Politics, religion, death.
Politics, religion, death.
That's
3
right.
topics covered. And
we're really in there. Yes, we're really in there.
Sparky writes in, they engrave it right at the cemetery. Okay, so I guess he knows a little something here. This is yeah.
Now, in fact, have you known any undertakers?
No, but I know there were guys that dug graves that used to cash their paychecks at the bank I worked at.
Oh,
yeah. They but I don't know if they did any engraving on the stones.
Or funeral directors. Have you met a funeral or known one?
I've met funeral directors.
Because the funeral director, when you've seen them at the funeral, they have that whole solemn thing and they have this demeanor that whatever.
Yeah.
Now, my brother knows a funeral director. Apparently, when he's not near the cemetery, he's a frickin' party animal. That's unexpected, huh?
A funeral's a kind of a party. A more somber
away
party, a celebration.
Yeah, right.
But that's not what you're.
Yeah.
Now, Dune writes in: cash their paychecks or deposit it? Yes. Depends on the guy.
I get what you're saying there, man.
I'm not at liberty to discuss other people's banking accounts or.
That was it. I think he was going for the joke. The guy does for a living. He makes deposits. Did he deposit his paycheck?
Oh, did he deposit the paycheck into the? Well, here's the thing. I remember it was really awkward because some of the guys were very personable, and you got to know them. They were regulars, and then there were the guys that they just walked in, cashed their check, walked out. And there was one guy that I guess he normally deposited it, but one day he wanted to cash it, and I couldn't tell you this guy's name. I didn't know this guy from Adam. I kind of recognized him. But and so he signed, endorsed the check and asked for 10s, 20s, whatever. And I asked for ID, and he said, well, it's in the car, but I cash my check here all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. And he didn't yell at me. He didn't get angry, but he was not happy. Because he kind of did a little bit of a storm off, but a calm, collected storm off. Like you could tell he was upset, but he was holding it because he's like, he did the responsible adult upset. Like, okay, this guy's not handing out my cash to people that are faking my name, so I guess I could be happy about that. But damn, this is annoying. So he walked off to go get, and then Margie, who thought that this was an ugly tie, is like, why did he get upset? I'm like, I made him go get ID. She's like, why did you make him get ID for? Don't you know who he is? He cashes his check here all the time. I'm like, I couldn't tell you the guy's name. And, oh, it's so-and-so. I'm like, dude, he never talks to me. I don't know that guy from Adam. Mind you, if I cashed a check, Margie would have written me up for it, probably for not IDing. That's the thing, because I think that was around the time I got written up for cashing a check for someone whose right name was on the check because he was junior to. Yeah, you know the other story about the guy who was who forged his dad's checkbook to write himself a check from his dad's check. That was one of the guys who was more friendly with us that also was digging the graves in the cemetery, and his son had the same name as him, and he wrote like junior and signed it with the senior, and Marge knew it was suspicious but didn't warn me, and then wrote me up for cashing the check after he walked out while watching me cash it.
It was funny on the same line. This friend of mine that's about 65 years old, they were just, in fact, they're just returning home now, I think. They're traveling to like Kentucky and Tennessee, and I think they were in Georgia. And they were someplace he was buying a beer, and he got carded, and he's 65. He was amused by that.
Now, Dune writes in, I have never once in my life cashed a paycheck. I got some cash back. And that may be the situation here. At this point, I don't remember any details of any transactions I processed working as a bank teller. And I don't know, and I can't tell you for sure if anyone ever cashed a full check or if I know some people would ask you to deposit it as cash and to actually process a check cashing and then deposit the cash so that
the full amount of the cash,
right? So that way the amount will be available right away, which seems shady.
A little bizarre.
It's a little bizarre, but it was something that our bank allowed people to do, to deposit as cash, because if they came in and cashed their check, we would give them but the thing is still, if you cash a check, you still cash it against their account to cover it in case something goes wrong with it. But there were times that people would,
Well, that's the place where you just go to the guy. You don't say, you idiot, right?
Now Dune writes in, what's with your bosses and M names? Well, let's see. When I worked for the garbage company, one of my bosses, my boss out in the yard was Jeff. My boss in the office was Rita. So no M's there. When I worked for the bank,
the last names start with an M?
I forget Rita's last name.
Any of those? Yeah,
I don't think so. But then the bank was Margie. Then let's see, Walmart was the department manager was John. Our store manager was Tim, and then
sometimes you called him Mo.
Sometimes I called him Mo. Oh, I think Marilyn was our manager for a period of time.
There you go.
So there's another M, but I think that only lasted a few months before she got transferred to another store. Let's see, work for the bank, Margie, work for the bank up in Maine, Angie, then transferred to the IT department, Patty, then moved to California, and then my Fong. So I guess that's those are the two M's that Dune is finding, Margie and my Fong. So now he thinks all my bosses, they start with them.
Pretty close.
Then I moved back here, got that contract job with Analog Devices. My boss there was Jayesh. Then I worked for Enernock, and that boss name was Nordine. So there's an N instead of an M. And
close. Right.
And I'm not going to tell you my boss's name now.
Right.
But it's a very common name.
So back to banking practices.
Yeah.
I would go to lunch when I was living in Houston. I would go with this lunch with this guy. Nice guy, kind of conservative, kind of quiet, and what have you. And he would often say, "Oh, on the way to lunch, let's stop at the bank."
Okay.
And we would stop at a random bank.
Huh.
right? Not necessarily his, because all he would be doing there, he would be going there to get change for a 20.
He was up at a random bank to get changed for a 20.
For a 20. Now, sometimes we'd go to his bank, they would recognize him calling him by name. He was absolutely anti ATM card. So if he needs cash, he's going to his bank. And so they would call him by name, all this personal blah, blah, blah. And, cash a check or take some money out. But the random bank to get change for 20 was funny. You mean restaurants can't give you a 20? Can't handle your $20 bill?
You can go to a Walmart, buy a pack of gum. But anyway, Dune writes in, it was all the ones with the M that wrote me up. Well, yeah, I got written up by Margie and I got written up by my
There
phone.
you go.
There's
the
point.
qualification.
Now, I did get a bad review from Nordine, and then I quit.
Well, but he was an idiot, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolute idiot. He still is an idiot, probably. But
and that was my thong, not thong.
Yeah,
but that was funny though.
No,
thanks, Sparky.
Thank you.
He's listening. He's listening.
He is.
Why are we listening? We're on to banking from death.
Now,
right?
Mopper writes in, my boss is the best. I have a really good boss now too. I am much better than Nordine. I don't know if Nordine was the worst boss I ever had, but he was among them. But I did have fun drinking with him while going on a business trip.
Cool.
So, there's that.
I knew a guy that had a pretty decent boss. Not only they're drinking together, but once in a while he'd get a call from his boss to bail the guy out of jail.
That's awkward when the boss calls you to bail him out of jail. Well, if you don't, then you don't have a boss when you go to work the next day.
Exactly.
Right?
That's right. You become the boss. Oh, wait a minute. No, he was the company owner.
You go over there and it's like, all right, well, before I post the bail, let's talk about my last review. Do you think we could adjust that?
Allegedly, this boss was the guy that founded Borland Software, Turbo Pascal.
Right.
Allegedly.
So you mean not really?
Oh, that's how the story goes. Right?
That's how the story goes.
Not confirmed.
So Sparky writes in that his boss is an ass, but he's an ass right back, so we are even. Well, that works. That might sum up my working relationship with my Fong. No, not quite. Dune writes in, she could have said one time, hey, what's that on your desk? Oh, never mind. It's my thong. Yeah, no. I don't think my Fong would leave her thong on my desk. That would be awkward to explain to HR. But anyways, Pat, I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Nope. Wrong. Yeah, I'm looking for an excuse to use that button now. But I've not found one yet. So, Brian, you are actually feeling much better this week than last week, I can tell.
I haven't fallen over yet.
Yeah.
The thing is I am. So I had breakfast probably at about noon, which is normal. That's not an abnormal thing.
Right.
And then I took a nap. And the trouble is I'm doing a lot of sleeping during the day, which means like last night I was up until about 2 o'clock, and then I actually got up at about 4. So I'm not sleeping well at night. So I can sleep with the day, I mean, after this I'll probably take another nap.
Okay. Anyways, Dune wants me to play that sound again. Not sure what that was, so I'm going to play that random sound again.
Mythological hero Achilles.
You heard that sound before?
Mythological hero Achilles.
That's a sound clip I got for when someone gives an answer that's so wrong. That's the context I need to find for that sound clip. It allowed me to share the viral video that comes from. So right here we've got Wheel of Fortune, where the contestant has like landed on the spot on the wheel to win the vacation. He landed on the $1 million spot, and he keeps spinning and getting all the letters. Wow. And we're at the point where all he has is one thing left to do.
Good idea, yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
You can't accept that.
What the fuck?
I'll solve.
Yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Yeah, that's it. Oh boy. Well.
So he lost $1 million vacation and just because he didn't know Achilles.
Now that comes down to dumbass.
That is right there. that is classic dumbass.
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're great.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Bonafide first class. You're a dumbass.
So, and that reminds me. So, a friend of mine a couple of days ago posted, was it Leonard Nimoy's birthday or something like that in the last few days?
Probably, maybe.
Anyway, so he posted a brief thing on Leonard Nimoy. You know, Mr. Spock, blah, 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 talk about his accomplishments, and people were saying, oh, yeah, and he did some art. And I says, yeah, and he did some music and some voice recordings, stuff like this.
Yes.
I really wanted to post that isolation that you have of Leonard Nimoy, which, of course, is a composite.
Child who is cold and lonely.
Yes. Play it again. I just have to. That actually makes me feel better.
I have killed the child who is cold and lonely.
There's that. There's so many. I have to build a new soundboard for that. I was
wrong.
It would be fun to put them together and then post. Yeah, and this is also Leonard Nimoy, and just post that, like, people just kind of go, "What the?" Oh my God.
I was wrong. I am not alone. I have killed the child who is cold and lonely.
and sometimes we just need a quick greeting.
Hi.
Hi. We should all start this show, do a round of hi.
Hi.
Yes, I could do that. I could do this. The symbol. Live long and prosper.
We'll live long and prosper, and get high.
Hi.
Yes, and of course, don't forget Worf.
I am not a merry man. Good tea. Nice house.
And wouldn't that be funny if Leonard Nimoy and Worf were roommates?
And they were roommates.
Oh my God, they
Right.
were roommates.
Right. I was just watching the Star Trek Beyond, with Pine and and the new crew and stuff like that. There are really good lines in that movie. Oh yes, one of the writers of the movie was Simon Pegg. When I saw that in the credits, of course he wrote that.
Dune writes in, I think I asked, you had the raw recording also of the Leonard Nimoy thing. Well, yeah, basically that was I don't know what the story or the origin of the tape is, but I do know that it was a reel-to-reel tape that I found in a storage locker that was labeled Nimoy or Leonard Nimoy, and it didn't really say what was on it, so I just borrowed it, and recorded it in. And what I can say is that I think I have another tape that also has like voice session for voice work that was done for some kind of a amusement park attraction that Sid and Marty Krofft had a hand in, and I think that these tapes were basically the outtakes that they cut out from the good sections. Like I think whatever was finally because somewhere I found someone pointed me in the right direction to information about the actual Sid and Marty Krofft ride that used some of the sounds that were on my tape, but those takes were different from what was on my tape, and my tape had a lot of like trying things multiple times, and so I kind of think that it's outtakes. It's the ones that didn't work.
The ones they didn't take, yeah.
And they separated out the good tapes and put those on a different reel, and then that's why this reel ended up in the garbage and got collected by someone who put it in a storage locker with a bunch of other garbage like Mrs. Miller outtakes. Sparky wants to know if there'll be a Twitch Finds on April 2nd, Palm Sunday. Well, if we get out of church soon enough. Palm Sunday isn't the one with the long reading. I think it's the week after that has the. Well, actually, I don't know.
Well, the weekend after Palm Sunday is Easter Sunday.
Right. So no, Palm Sunday is the one with the long reading. Easter Sunday is the one with the empty tomb. That's pretty short, sweet, in and out off to family gatherings. Anyways, so. What I've noticed on this tape is that if you listen in between him reading, you can hear the faint sound of background music. So I think this is an isolation of Leonard Nimoy's microphone that the final mix would have backing music. And based on the text, I believe it's him reading a book he wrote. And so I think he was putting together maybe a book on tape version of his book. And this is just some of the outtakes without the backing music that was just for some reason put on this tape.
He did also reading for voice tracks for just of other books, not necessarily his.
No. This one I tracked it back to a book of his that the verbiage he's using seems to align with this like poetry book that he wrote in the 70s
Okay, you and I, rolling on take one.
In my heart is the seed of the tree which will be me, nourished by understanding, warmed by friends, fed by loved ones, matured by wisdom, tempered by tears.
You and I, rolling on take two.
In my heart is the seed of the tree. There's no time running.
Rolling on two.
In my heart is the seed of the tree which will be me, nourished by understanding, warmed by friends, fed by loved ones, matured by wisdom, tempered by tears. Patience. The seasons pass, the seed sprouts.
Somewhere in here, I think there's like a false start or something that was kind of amusing.
And feet. Speed is glory. Speed is fame and fortune. Speed is a cold medal. Speed is honor. Speed is about in preparation. Some struggle to be nearest to the gate. Some climb to be at the highest place. And yet, we shall all be born. The seasoning is bitter. Searching for me.
Kind of have to jump around here a bit.
I am not alone.
Oh, there's a famous one.
I am not alone. There are times when I think I am, feel like I am, alone and lost. But as the river bends and the drifting traveler sees the unfolding of new vistas, new horizons, new landmarks, I find a new communion with the turn of time, a new sense of universal connection. And then, one day, in the spring of my life, the buds and the blossoms appear. I am alive. I am here.
Sounds very deep.
I have joined the earth like a tide pool, filled by the mist and the great waves.
Yeah. So anyways, this tape is 26 minutes long. of that type of stuff. But yeah, so I do have that raw recording, and then on top of that, I have the version that Venison made of that recording, which is about 4 minutes long. And let's see.
Okay, you and I rolling on take one.
In my heart is the seed of the tree which will be me. The sandpipers on the beach, running to and fro, playing tag with the surf. I look forward to each new day with a sense of adventure. There's so much to learn. High up on a hill, in a house of ruby glass, living in the warmth of the sun, lives the love I look for. In a ruby glass house without a door, burning, reflecting from the eye of my desire. At times I hold my breath. Did I hear a sound? Was there a signal? I must be patient. A sweet flow of excitement warms me. You are near. I am not alone. You are here. As a child discovers its deep shaft to examine their size and shape, I watch, I listen, I wait. But there is time. There is time to love. I promise myself, I will. And then, one day, in the spring of my life, and now, today, I am here. I am an incurable romantic. I sense your presence, and it has just occurred to me that you are young, and I know now, I love you. I see with new eyes, hear with childlike ears, and my heart is full of joy and wonder because of you, the child who is cold and lonely. Will you be with me? I held you, we held each other, together. The sweet, simple joy that we have found together. In my heart, I'm a child. I am moved. I am here. I am ready to reach out for new experiences. Are you ready? I am ready to give and to receive. The child shaft is young, and it hurt me. Time to touch, taste, to warm the
Venison
child
kind of
who is
goes in a
young.
dark direction with this.
Touch me.
Yeah.
Your touch is the
But
warmth of
that's
the
why
sun.
we liked Venison.
You
And
held
it
me
kind of
in a
like,
half-sure way.
like, where's it really
Touch
going?
me. Move
Oh,
slowly.
we'll find out.
Oh,
so slowly.
Here we go.
So I forget
so
what day it was.
slowly. Blowing me. Oh, so slowly. Warm, wet. Make time. Stand still. So slowly.
It's like a steamy romance novel.
Oh, so slowly. Move slowly. The seed of which will be me. A sweet flow of excitement. Calm flow, filled by the mist and the great waves, surging in from all directions. The tides flow. I'll walk in it and get soaked. I'm sorry, I came too soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was watching. I forget the round of 8 in men's basketball, right?
Okay. To completely
UConn against
change
Gonzalez.
the topic.
Right. Not quite change the topic. But so I'd watch the game a little bit, and then I'd switch to, Cool Hand Luke was playing on another channel. So I'd catch various clips, right? There's a beautiful scene where his mother is in the back of a pickup truck, comes up to the prison, and they allow him to come out to the pickup truck to talk to his mom. Her mom is apparently dying. And they have this conversation that's just mind-blowing. You know, her other son was there. He's the good boy. And she admits right there to Luke, and the other guy can obviously hear how he has feelings for Luke, but doesn't give a shit about the son that's actually taking care of her. It's just off the wall.
Yeah.
But then there's this other scene that's actually more related to what we were just doing. In Cool Hand Luke, he escapes a number of times. Okay. That's
Okay.
his thing. And in one of the escapes, he's getting ready to pull off his escape, but they need a distraction. So they bring in one of the guards to read to the prisoners. And the guard is willing to do this. And the guard is reading from, one of these romance novelists that's real steamy and stuff like this. It's hilarious because you see this guy's kind of embarrassment as he reads. All the prisoners are all into it and what have you. Meanwhile, nobody's watching, and Luke sneaks out through a hole in the floor and pulls off his escape. But
Well,
that's pretty funny.
Dune found something interesting that may be related to the recording session that we have the outtakes of. All I know is he found a YouTube video with the caption of "I am an incurable romantic, Leonard Nimoy," which oddly enough is exactly one of the things he says in my outtake reel. So let's find out what this is.
I am an incurable romantic. I believe in hope, dreams, and decency. I believe in love, tenderness, and kindness. I believe in mankind. I believe in goodness, mercy, and charity. I believe in a universal spirit. I believe in casting bread upon the waters. I am awed by the snow-capped mountains, by the vastness of the oceans. A living creature in pain makes me shudder with sorrow. A river or stream can move me to tears. A lake nestling in a valley can bring me peace.
Well, it's interesting that it has that same line, but I don't think that's what this is.
Yeah.
I am an incurable romantic by Leonard Nimoy, which I guess he, used that line in more than one thing. I'm not finding any comments on this video though. But anyways, that still is interesting.
And that's clearly a different audio take because it has that big room sound to it.
Right, it's a different audio take. It's an older Leonard Nimoy, and it's a completely different thing. Now, I did say I traced this back to what it was, and of course it's right in the file because you hear when they say what the take is.
Yeah.
After he hums.
Okay, you and I rolling on take one.
You and I.
You and I.
And although I think one of the other highlights of this reel is the he opens with. But that is a book that Leonard Nimoy wrote, You and I. And so that's basically, I think, what he's reading. So let me, and I think you can get it on Amazon. So let me just go to Amazon and search You and I, Leonard Nimoy. And it's a paperback, You and I, Leonard Nimoy, 1975. And heck, you could get a copy for $6.90, or you get a used copy for $4.48 even. Although you got to pay shipping and different.
Is it available on Kindle?
I don't know about a Kindle. Let's see. Hardcover is $87. Mass market paperback is $9. No Kindle version, at least not on this listing. But there you go. It also let's see. It's a very personal love story. The intensity, conviction, and humanitarianism that have made Leonard Nimoy a distinguished actor have been transferred into a moving and arresting story told in poetry and photographs. You and I is a fine and sensitive love story that builds with enormous power. Whoever reads You and I will wish to share its drama with others and will never forget Leonard Nimoy's vigorous expressions of love unfolding from out of a lifetime of thought and feeling. I don't know. I prefer his music career, personally. But actually, there's a great video on YouTube of Leonard Nimoy singing a line of the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins while signing a bunch of his albums for a fan that brought them to a convention. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if I can find that. Of course, it just brings up a bunch of... Oh, here we go. Leonard Nimoy sings Bilbo Baggins live.
Twinkle, twinkle, little earth. Where is love? That's a pretty song. Where is love?
That's a beautiful song.
Can you sing it, please?
Yeah. If you need backup.
There was a piece on here called... I think I'm ducking the issue. A piece of it called Visit to a Sad Planet, which became quite popular on radio and sold a lot of albums. And so they asked me to do some more. And we ended up doing about 5 or 6 albums. And I had a good time with it. And then, after we were all done with the albums, about a year later, the man who had produced them came to me with an interesting idea. He said there's a trilogy called the Ring Trilogy about the Hobbits. So I read the books, and I'm talking about, I think around 1968 or 1969. About 40 years ago, we recorded the Hobbit song, Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah!
Now, I'm going to sign these, but this must stop. And it's still around. Have you heard it lately?
Yeah! You want it to... Bilbo Baggins. It's only 3 feet
In Middle Earth in the Landershire. There's a brave little hobbit whom we all admire. Long wooden pipe, fuzzy woolen toes. Lives in a hobbit hole and everybody knows him. Bilbo Baggins, greatest little hobbit of them all. That's it. Are those yours? Boy, you're a lucky one today. Well, you can't have them. You're welcome.
That's a great little clip.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. And Dune writes in, he's a good sport. And, Dune sent us another link to Twitter. Let's see. Leonard Nimoy actually tweeted in 2010, I am an incurable romantic. I believe in hope, dreams, and decency, love, tenderness, kindness. I believe in mankind. And that Leonard Nimoy, he seemed to really like that line. Let me see if I can find. There we go.
I am an incurable romantic.
There it is. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know what else we talk about this week. I talked about as Sir Mars writes in, there's a show.
Mars.
Yes, there is.
Mars.
There absolutely is a show. So now we come to the question, assuming that there is a trip at the end of April, which I really don't know. I'm hoping that a few weeks means a week, since that was week-old news, and that things will happen, or things will get delayed into May. That's what I'm hoping, but whatever happens, priorities, and I'll deal with Delta if I need to. But we still haven't quite figured out exactly what we're going to make this promo about. But Bob Pro likes the Mars bars. Now, I think you suggested we should take the ferry into San Fran this time, rather than taking BART.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, wait. Is there what's the parking situation for the ferry?
Oh, there's a parking lot for the ferry.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so it's easy.
Okay, cool. And is the ferry free or a ticket? Or...
I don't remember what it costs. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not free.
And, yeah, I think Mars bars do have almonds. I think that is the bar with the almonds, the Mars bar. Not the Mickey Way. But and speaking of Mars bars, we got Mars who was napping, and it's funny. Brian was here and he could use a nap, and Mars is here,
Yes.
well rested.
Great.
I'm here. Just a second.
Hey, Mars. Now that you're here, I can collapse.
Oh. What? Brian, are you still sick?
He's
better-ish.
You're a lot.
Brian, are you dying? What's going? Brian, don't die.
I will
Gators has
say-
come to visit. Don't die.
I will say,
I know.
Brian,
I know. I got to be better by then.
For what it's
Sorry.
worth, and I'm not trying to tell you how you're feeling or how sick you are or you aren't, but at least from a appearance view on the show, you are a billion times better this week than you were last week.
Oh, I feel a lot better. I mean, after all, hey, we've passed the hour mark. You know, I put up with it for about an hour, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
But
yeah,
and I wasn't sure because, like I say, I took about a 2-hour nap before getting on. I was slowly getting ready, so you had to give me that call.
right.
But I was close.
Yep, and I gave you the call, gave you the wake up call, and you.
No, I was
you
awake.
woke
I
up?
just, in fact, I was just out of the shower when you called. So.
Okay.
Wow,
So
I was not awake until now.
did you have a good?
I didn't think you were going to be here today, so I went to sleep. I took a nap.
You thought I was still chilling in Jersey for? No, I did a round trip in one day.
What? Is the funeral over?
No. The funeral still hasn't happened. We had our PrEaster celebration this past weekend.
Well, where's the priest? Are
No,
you
no.
a priest?
That's the combination of.
Everybody gets that problem, that confused. No priest is involved.
No. At some point, the Easter gathering at my dad and stepmom's house got too big, that they had to. My aunt and uncle and my cousins had to split off to have their own Easter celebration. So now my cousin invites us over before Easter for a pre-Easter or PrEaster, as we started calling it this year, celebration.
Okay, that's fine. Did you hide
Oh,
eggs?
so this is a new term.
Yes.
Did you hide eggs?
We did hide eggs. And
wow.
Did you
and-
find them
Yeah,
all?
who was the
or
who
did
was
you
the
lose
youngest
one?
of the crowd?
Youngest of the crowd would be
Your sister, right?
What's that?
Is your sister youngest?
No, what do you call the child of a cousin? That'd be another type of cousin.
Well, you got
a cousin?
second cousins, third
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
So basically, my cousin has 2 daughters, and one of them is the youngest one there.
And they're about how old?
A year, 2. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think going on 2, or no,
Wow,
going on
gross, how
1. No,
violent to
1.
get the
I
eggs.
did. She was. No, we're going on 1. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Now, Mopper wants to know if he did the egg fight. No, we just hid some plastic eggs, and by we I mean people are they don't let me hide the eggs anymore.
Why not?
Well, we used to have an egg hunt at my grandparents' house when we had the Easter gathering at my grandparents' every year, and I was the oldest one, so I'd run out and find like 80 to 90% of the eggs and leave crumbs for the rest because capitalism.
You're not allowed to go look anymore, dude.
So one year they said, "Hey, you're getting so big. How would you like to help hide the eggs?" And I took this very seriously, and I felt that if you didn't have at least one egg stay hidden by the end of the hunt, you weren't really doing your job right. So every year there was at least one egg that would be way up at the top of the tree. And every year, after they were done, I walk out to the tree, look up there, see the little blue piece of plastic up there, and I'd say, "You missed one." And
So you guys didn't do real eggs that were painted. You guys just used plastic eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We have the candy and the coin and the good one, and
We would dye eggs at home, and then
Uh-huh.
Easter morning, our parents or the Easter Bunny the Easter Bunny comes overnight and hides the candy-filled eggs that he or she brings, but then also raids the fridge and hides the. Is there anything creepy about a big bunny coming into your house, taking the eggs out of your fridge, and then hiding them around the house? But we were
No.
okay with this as kids. This is
Yeah, fine.
perfectly fine.
Wow, me.
And some years, the
Nobody
Easter Bunny.
called the police, right?
No. And
How
some
about
years,
that guy at Christmas time in the red suit and the beard?
And some years,
Breaks
the
in the
Easter-
house through the chimney of all places.
and we didn't even have a chimney. Well, we
And
had
nobody-
a chimney,
and-
but
and
not a
nobody
chimney
called the
to a
police.
fireplace. But
Yeah.
some years, the Easter Bunny was polite enough to hide the fridge eggs on the porch to keep them chilled.
Oh, outside.
Yeah, on the porch, because
So the bears could show up.
No, the porch. It's an enclosed porch, but it's not
enclosed porch.
heated.
Oh, okay.
So it's still
Gotcha.
chilly on the porch.
It's not outside per se, but in the pseudo outside.
The pseudo outside.
Unheated extra room.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
my nieces hate me because every time I hide the eggs, I throw in the middle of the swimming pool. And since they're plastic, there's like something in there, but they just kind of stay in the middle of the pool. So
Now, do they float or
yeah,
do they
it floats.
sink?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
okay.
just floats.
Now this year we
So you
we
get the net to scoop it out.
Yeah,
so,
but I'd hide
so-
the net too. So
Yeah, wow.
So this year the Easter egg hunt for the kids was done indoors, so there was no eggs thrown up in the tree. But to kind of carry on my tradition, my nephew hid one of the eggs up on top of the fridge, and one up on top of like a column in the house that had a ledge on the top there, and the parents of the kids were nice enough to lift the kid up to grab it down.
Nice.
So there was.
So, Gators, was it ever snowing during Easter at your time?
I don't recall. I think that could happen, but I don't remember it happening or not happening.
No snow this year. Was it raining?
One year, I was in Indianapolis, and my dad and mom hid eggs. Well, we had snowfall on Easter. So we had about 1.5 inches of snow in the yard. My dad and mom decided, we're not hiding your eggs. We're hiding the hard-boiled eggs that have just been in the freezer. So they're all white, in the white snow. So we were
Brilliant.
like, it's going to take us a while to find these. But it was pretty funny, you got to admit. We had the camouflage eggs going. And, of course, summer comes around. Every summer, my dad would end up finding an egg somewhere, Not the plastic eggs, but the hard-boiled eggs in the summer. Usually hitting it with his lawnmower. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I like to, when we're at my grandmother's house, I always thought it was not fair that my grandmother didn't get to get in on the egg hunting fun, being that it was her house and it was her eggs that we were hiding. Yeah. So I would hide a few extra eggs around the house for her to find after the fact. I put one in the vegetable crisper in the fridge. Buried it underneath the veg. So, later on, and sure enough, next time you visit, she'd be like, oh, I found the egg in the vegetable crisper that you left for me. So, she had a good laugh.
Did you ever, go up to her room and hide one underneath your pillow?
No, I didn't think about that. I did not.
She'll find it that next day, lay down and squish. And make sure it's hard-boiled and not hard-boiled.
These are plastic eggs that we were, My grandma had a basket of plastic eggs that we would hide. And, anyways, so it was a good PrEaster, and we got Easter coming up, not this weekend, but the following weekend.
Yeah.
And,
Palm Sunday this week, this coming Sunday, and then Easter. The real Easter.
The real Easter. No priest, just Easter.
This next Sunday is Palm Sunday, right?
Right.
Is this next Sunday?
What's that?
It's Sunday, right? Palm
Right.
Easter?
Correct.
Or Palm Sunday?
Right, right. Where you get a
Sorry.
new leaf, and then you have to burn the old leaf. Yeah, because they give you palms.
Right.
And those are
Oh,
blessed.
palms. Those are the leaves you're burning. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Because every year you get a new palm, and you gotta dispose of the old palm, but that's a blessed sacred.
Oh, they're supposed to be like a year old or
artifact.
something? Because we used to just do them at church and then they just disappear.
How are they disappear? Because you're not supposed to throw those out. You're supposed to burn them. I think
never asked.
And I think also the church burns the palms, and that's where they get the ashes for Ash Sunday, is from
Right.
the leftover
Ash
palm.
Wednesday.
No, yeah. Did I say Sunday?
Yeah, pretty close.
That reminds me of Victor Borga doing a routine about this watch that the time was off, and because it only has one hand, and since it only has one hand, how do you know if it's the big one or the little one? And maybe that's why it says that and then he goes through like wrong time. That's why it says it thinks it's the, and then the punchline is Ash Tuesday. It thinks it's Ash Tuesday. But no, yeah. The previous year's leftover palms are burned, and that's where they get the ashes for Ash Tuesday.
So where do you store
Tuesday.
those prior
I'm
year
Ash
palms?
Wednesday. I'm sorry, what's
Yeah,
that?
ashes. I'll
Where
give you
do
one.
they store those prior year palms?
I don't know where they store them. I probably have a storage closet somewhere. Next
You
to
want
the.
to turn nice and brown so they'll burn.
You see, these are the details I don't know. And that might vary from parish to parish, but there's probably a utility closet with jugs of wine and
Yeah, because
boxes of Hosties and
Palm Sunday
palms.
you're using a green palm.
Right. Well, actually, they're yellow, but they're not. But they're
Well,
still fresh yellow.
They're fresh, right? They're fresh.
And
right.
then by the time you swap it out for
could
the
be
new one next year, it's a pretty dried, cracking
Right.
yellow.
Either that, they take the palms from Sunday. We don't want to store these frickin' things, so they'll put them in basically like a roaster to dry them out and turn them brown, and then you could turn them into ashes.
Right. Dune writes in, so the takeaway story is Johnny used to hide things in his grandma's house. I see no problem with this.
I'm wondering if Dune said that in a way to sound creepy.
I don't know what you're trying to imply I'm hiding, but I
Right.
was just hiding eggs in the fridge.
Yes,
It's a perfectly reasonable place to hide eggs.
perfectly reasonable.
Heck, I might have video footage of the eggs
Whoa,
being hidden.
Super 8.
No.
As we say in unison.
No, heavens, no. This would be in the VHS era, is what this would be.
Wait, you had a VHS recorder as well? Camcorder?
My dad got a VHS camcorder in 1988. So he had.
Yeah, it's about time my mom got hers.
Yeah.
Her JVC or whatever it was.
Yeah. So we had a bunch of. Actually, we'll have to take a look at what we got. I don't think. I don't know where the. No, that's Christmas. That's more Christmas. That's more Christmas. You know what? I probably had to do a little digging on my M drive for the ISO images of the DVDs I prepared.
So you
here
did
we
go
go.
to your funeral. When is it, Gators? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing. Is it turns out it's going to take a few weeks to get the remains cremated and brought up to New Jersey. Now I don't know if that's a few weeks from now or a few weeks from last week, but so now I'm getting really worried about when the funeral's going to be and whether or not it's going to land in the last week of April, because I bought the super cheap Delta tickets that are non-refundable and non-transferable, and the only thing you can get for them is a e-credit, which may or may not be less than the e-credit minus a fee, which may or may not be more than what you paid, in which case you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir. So I might be out $500.
Now, question: Are they
Yes.
cremating him in Florida or in Jersey?
Yeah, they're cremating him in Florida, and
Okay.
then.
Well, it shouldn't
remains
take
are
too
being
long.
brought-
But can they just like tape the lid closed and UPS it back? Do like overnight shipping and UPS?
and then
it'll probably end up somewhere else in the rest of the country and make a right turn and a left turn, and you might find it later, you might not.
I've talked to my sister, who talked to my aunt, who is very busy with a lot of things, so I don't think she asked a lot of questions.
Of course. Yeah.
So,
So it'd be like, well, you know what Grandpa is? He's over where the vinyls that I haven't gotten back yet are. So they're hanging out together.
So I don't know the details of few weeks or what few weeks means.
You know what?
or
It
why
might be
few
next
weeks.
weekend. Actually, it might be next week. I can see that.
Well, yeah, well, I don't know. I talked to Steph yesterday, and she said when she talked to my aunt that she said it's going to take a few weeks to get things up here. Now, I don't know when my sister last talked to my aunt, so I don't know if that's a few weeks from a week ago when we found out, or if that's a few weeks from recently. So, but then you go out a few weeks from now. That brings us.
You're just hoping that they don't call and say, "Oh, the funeral's tomorrow."
Well, I'd be fine with that.
That means he gets a couple days off.
Yeah, I already told my boss I am awaiting further instruction, and I'm probably gonna have to take some time off to travel, or and
But
attend
Gators,
this
can't
thing.
you do work on the airplane?
Well, I don't have to take a plane there.
Oh, you drive.
No, it's
Okay.
Jersey.
He's just talking about
I
coming
did
out
round
to
trip to
California.
Jersey yesterday. I got up early yesterday morning, drove down,
Was
had
the dude
dinner,
just in New
drove
York?
home.
You could have gone to visit him, right? Did you do that?
Yeah, but
Did
I
you go
didn't
hang
want
out
to.
and hang out to the Statue of
Kidding,
Liberty?
kidding.
Did you go up the stairs in the Liberty?
I did. I don't want to go to New York.
Well, no, you guys hang out. Where you guys hang out and meet at Damon's front door.
Here's the thing. Dune did tell me he was going to be in New York, but I didn't know when or where.
Oh yeah,
what
I know. I'm
point.
joking. I'm
So,
joking, Gators. I'm
you know,
joking.
Heck, if I could have made that work, I would have totally hung out with Dune in New York.
You should have hung out. You guys could have met at Damon's front door.
I would have taken them to Liberty Island and said, "Hey, I'm from Jersey. Could you hook me up with the bonus Crown tickets?" And we would have gone
Would
right
they
up
have
to
done
that.
that to you for you since you're from Jersey?
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
That's not a thing.
They'd be like, "Oh, Jersey. You could have visited Venison's old place. Driven around,
Yeah, knocked at the door. Hey, we knew the guy. who used
gone
to
to
live
the
here.
Devil's Tree a little bit."
Yeah, we could have done that. Now, Dune writes in, remember, Johnny's dad worked for a family-owned trash company. I see no problem with this.
There'll be a bring your son and all of his friends to work day at the trash company.
Well, cross my fingers. It's not the last week of April, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
doing
the
right
point.
now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing because.
Well, if Steph already talked to your aunt, and she talked to you yesterday about it, I doubt she talked to her yesterday. She probably talked to her a couple days beforehand or a week beforehand.
Right. I don't know if she talked to her more than once.
Yeah.
So,
it might be. Honestly, it could be next weekend. I don't know how fast UPS handles the shipping of urns. I don't.
I found the Easter movies. So here we are dyeing Easter eggs. So
are you using the pause?
There I am. By
yeah,
the
you're
table.
singing too.
Yeah, my brother's still singing.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
How's everyone you're doing? We're coloring our eggs green. Yeah.
That's so they match the grass.
Mine's a robin egg. Robin's egg. Mine is a
Greg, show me your egg.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
His hand's blocking. Oh,
You know what?
There's the spill.
Greg was young and innocent then. What would he have done now if you asked him to show his eggs?
I don't know.
Wow. Jonathan, show me your egg.
There it is. It's an egg.
Very nice.
Very
I
good.
think maybe it's done now.
Okay.
It's gotten much darker from the last time.
Well, we're going to have to stop now because the battery just said dead.
Wow, that camera does not last very long.
Well, he didn't charge it at a time, I guess.
Okay. Well, bye-bye.
So,
He's like, yeah, that's enough of that. Bye.
yeah, that's...
Oh, that was again just as young and innocent.
Well, sometimes the family videos just go a little too far. My brother and his former wife, his first wife, went to Russia to adopt a child, a baby, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He has video that runs for 20 minutes while they're standing out in the parking lot waiting for
They're
the thing
excited,
to be open
Brian.
to do that.
They're excited.
And
20 minutes there talking to the camcorder. Like, why don't you
That's
stop
because
it
they're
and wait
excited.
until they actually freaking open the door?
So, you know how hors d'oeuvres kind of get put out on like the little like table in the living room there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, we parked ourselves in front of that table.
Well,
to,
yeah. The deviled
scarf
eggs and the
down,
little pickles disappear first.
sitting around the table with your hors d'oeuvres with the feed bag on.
I don't know if he's ever gonna. He says,
I wish I had a
and
feed
that.
bag. Never gave me a feed bag.
And he says,
So, but yeah, that's let's see if there might be an Easter egg hunt on here somewhere. I'll have to. There we are on the porch. Oh, here we go. Here's egg hunt. Should we watch a little egg hunt?
Yeah.
How many Cheerios have we counted so far? There we are. Look.
Give a dog.
I'm interested, like, why are these kids carrying these huge bags? Are they expecting that many eggs?
Yeah.
Those are the shopping bags that Grandma had.
Really? We had like
guess.
Easter baskets. All of us kids had little Easter baskets we used year for year to year to year.
Well, we had our Easter baskets at home, but this was at the family gathering at Grandma's house, and she gave us.
So this
bags.
was after the big debate whether it's past plastic or paper.
This is before those days.
No, these are all
didn't care
paper.
then.
These
I
are
mean,
all
these are all
plastic.
plastic, I mean.
These are all plastic, but we
But
didn't.
the debate was years before that, where we used to have paper bags and then they went to plastic.
Yeah. Well, they used to have both.
Well, that was temporarily. That was that transition period.
Growing up through the 80s and 90s, good solid 20 years at least, it was always both. And they would ask you.
It was a slow transition that pissed off people so badly.
It wasn't I don't know what you're. You know what?
Oh
that
that was a transition. Transition.
No.
How many paper
was an
bags do you get
option.
today?
It was an option. Growing up,
Of course.
we always got our groceries in the paper bags and meat in the plastic bags.
Of course, nowadays it's
Or
only
veggies in
plastic,
plastic
as a
bags,
choice,
too.
and you have to pay for it. You know, because the government loves to tax you.
Okay. Dune says, "Did your dad have a cool car back then?" My dad always had a cool car.
That's right. And you don't have that, Gene, because you have station wagons.
I think we always did paper, even if paper or plastic, just because my dad liked recycling a lot, so he does recycle the paper bags.
But anyways, well, and then also,
And the joke is the plastic that's used in paper bags is hardly recyclable at all.
the plastic that's used in paper bags.
Yeah.
Okay. But you could I don't know. I really don't care about the bags. I just want to find Easter eggs.
Yeah, you're a kid. You
Exactly.
don't care.
Well, I just
You buy
noticed
Easter eggs.
that you had huge bags for gathering. That's all.
It's like when you're a kid, you go trick or treating. What's the biggest thing you can carry? Everybody else carried something like the stupid plastic pumpkin or something. I grab a freaking pillowcase. I said, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The
You get the
pillowcase is
pillowcase.
the best.
If you're lucky, you know someone with one of those body pillowcases. Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah, yes, 6 feet long or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember. Well, we had my mom made us cloth bags for trick or treating. She sewed them, bought like a pattern,
Cool.
like a jack-o'-lantern type of pattern. And
That's pretty fancy.
Yeah, we were pretty fancy. And I might have some more Easter videos.
And you weren't really allowed to grab a shopping cart. You just go door to door with a shopping cart. Yeah, this is my bag. Just throw it in the
Being able
cart.
to use a shopping cart. I was in a cul-de-sac.
Right.
And
hard to get the shopping cart up the steps though.
And here we are the following year doing the egg hunt again with the same shopping bags.
It's okay. They might have had to exit. They probably had to exit from 1 year before. Did you do like the one egg that was like golden color or whatever, and it had like the quarter in it or something?
No, we just had the empty eggs, and then we would trade the empty eggs back to Grandmom for candy.
So is your
I
dad
just
the
had like
cameraman
jelly
here?
beans and
What's
Hershey's
that?
Kisses. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is your dad the cameraman?
Yeah, this is.
So he doesn't do any close-ups where a kid actually is picking up an egg.
Oh, I mean, he got us all in. He can.
I know, but in the wide view, he's not a close-up of the kid picking up an egg.
Yeah, my
Come on, Jeff, I'll help you.
I don't know. He made his artistic choices.
Now,
and,
Gators, do you still do you still have that camera?
My dad still has this camera. It's in the basement at the Gators mansion.
Yeah, does he have a VHS player that'll work? That'll play him?
He probably does.
I
but,
do. I have 2 hi-fi VCRs still.
Yeah, and I have VCRs, and that's why I converted these to DVD.
Right.
Oh, I guess this is before I start hiding them. This must have been the last year I went hunting for them. I think this is 91. There I am with my eggs.
Wow. Like, yeah, you're too good. Stop running
And
around.
there we all are. Yeah, there we are, showing off our eggs. Anyways.
They're triangulating your grandma's house, by
Cool.
the way, Gators. That's what they're doing.
Now, do you know right where that house is? Now, I do know where that house is. I could go there if I. Now it's not owned by the family anymore.
Right.
But.
And that was your grandparents' house, right?
Right, and then my aunt lived there, I think, for about a year after my grandmother passed, and then she just it wasn't quite working out that way, so she went to kind of a care
So I have a
facility.
question. Gators, my
Yes.
question is it creepy to keep the keys from the houses you've lived in or your family's lived in?
No, there's nothing creepy about keeping keys.
Because I have a key to about 8 houses that we've lived in.
I think my
You
dad
carry them around with you though.
I do not, but I could.
Now, I mean, keeping keys is a normal thing, and I will say that when I bought a house, I found that the normal thing they say to do is to replace the locks in the house with your own, because you just don't know if
who has a key.
Who had a key? I mean, keys are given out to neighbors and friends, so you just have no idea who has keys for that lock, even if you get the keys for that lock. And they only gave me one key for the side door. They didn't even give me a key that worked on the front door. So, that was something I did in the first weeks here, is I changed all the locks. So anyone that's doing their due diligence should also be changing those locks. So you should, in theory, have a bunch of keys to nothing.
I didn't change locks here until about a couple months ago.
Well, I think an apartment's a little different. Although
It's a condo, though.
It's a condo, so you do own it. So that's still a little different.
Okay.
But now Dune writes in, okay, let's test Johnny. So he wants me to give my grandparents a dress out on the street.
We're all wait, Sparky Toaster.
How many different keys and locks? Okay, well, there's 3 doors to this house. There's the front door, the side door, which both take the same key, because I was able to get a twofer. Actually, it was a twofer doorknob and deadbolt that take the same key. So that's actually 4 keyholes, 1 key. Deadbolt, doorknob on the front door,
4
deadbolt,
holes,
doorknob
1
on the
key.
side door.
Nice.
But I couldn't get a third that would take the same key. So the basement, the back door that goes into the basement has its own key. And I don't even know where that key is, actually. I usually just unlock and open that from the basement, drag the mower out, mow the lawn, drag the mower back in, lock the door from the inside.
How many keys do the cat sitter have now?
What's that? I'm sorry, I was reading.
How many keys do the cat sitter have?
The cat sitter has 1 key.
Okay. We'll make
And the
sure.
cat sitter has not responded to my inquiry about watching the cats while we go to San Fran. So I need to find a new cat sitter. Because remember, this was the problem last time, that the cat sitter didn't respond to us until we started sending frantic texts. Well, actually, last time the cat sitter responded and said, yeah, cool. And then, didn't even tell us if she's got a key or any questions or remember, because we had no real conversation.
You guys gave this cat sitter tons of time this time.
This is why texting sucks.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get enough information to make a decision.
Yeah. So now Dune writes in, I have 1 key, opens 3 doors, 3 deadbolts. I also have a key dude. And Sparky points out you could take the lock to a Lowe's and get all locks the same.
Yeah.
Now Sparky writes in, Johnny changed all the locks, proceeded to hide a key outside. Now I hid a key outside for that week for the cat sitter because I was in a bind and it was the day before. And she's like, yeah, I have that key, but you might want to hide one just to be sure.
So now she has 2.
So no, she left that key.
Oh, okay.
So I got that key back.
So Sparky, yes, you could go take your lock to to Lowe's to get it done, or you could go to an actual locksmith that knows what the fuck he's doing.
So, Sparky, just remember the key is hidden somewhere on the premises. So when you're painting Gator's house, you could do some inside walling too.
That was only for that week. I have no key hidden right now, and I don't plan on hiding a key for my next trip. I still have time to. Sparky went to Lowe's.
Never had any issues. Good.
I don't need a matching key for the basement, but if I did care enough about that, I'd do that. But,
actually, I went to Lowe's to get an adapter to get my my sister-in-law's dryer hooked up, and Lowe's actually helped me. He wasn't great, but he gave it to me for free.
Oh, that works.
So the whole thing turned out to be a free trip. And by the way, the hide-a-key Dune. Do you like the dog poop?
What?
The fake dog poop?
Fake hide a key and fake dog poop. That's not a bad idea.
You're hoping it's in the fake dog poop.
Right. Let's see. Which one is the real one and the fake one?
Do the squish test, and you'll know.
That's with a stick.
That's one way. That's
how you do it. You do the squish test and see.
In fact, actually, I saw one I really like, and that is, it's a fake sprinkler head that you put in the ground.
I've seen that one. That's actually not a bad one too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although the guy will come to the house and says, "Why is the sprinkler head there? They're all over the place." And then you got this one that's just kind of odd on its own.
We used to have one magneted to the inside of a gutter at one of our old houses.
Of course, it sucks when the gutter is aluminum.
Now I know we had a key hidden for the shore house, and us being all well-behaved kids, as Sparky was observing, our parents trusted us to know where the hidden key was at the Shore House in case we needed to get into the house, and that's how a bunch of parties got thrown at that house, and then that key got
that key
unhidden
huh?
and put away. Yeah. Now I never threw any of those parties.
Now, see,
I may have attended one or two of them.
The problem is you guys had parties at the house. You weren't smart enough to take that key, make a copy before having the parties.
There you go.
And then you give them the key that you didn't make a copy of, so you always have a copy of your own.
Now, what's funny is that there's two types of parties that were had at the beach house. There were the family gatherings to celebrate birthdays and summer and things like that, and then there were the parties that my brother was throwing that involved, beer, alcohol, people passing out on couches, and home movies of slapping people and sliding the skimboard on the carpet, and falling off the cooler, all that great stuff that we watched on this show that one time, so those were the two types of parties that were had at that house. So when that house got torn down and the new house got put up. The new house, it was very spacious the way it was laid out, so it's easy to put in a big table to have a family gathering there. And so my grandmother told me after seeing the house, she's like, "I told your dad, oh, this is the new party house." And I said, "Well, the old house was the real party house." And right over. And she goes, "Oh, I know. We had some good times." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes, yeah. You should have said not a yes. Yes, we did. Yes.
So is it time for our raid?
It is. Dude says, "I don't recall those. You don't remember the Jackass at Lavalette video we watched that one week?" Oh, that was a great movie. Yeah. I'll have to. We might have to revisit that a future time. Anyways, let's get ready for that raid because I think Brian is ready for another nap.
By the way, Brian, about an hour and a half. We'll have another atmospheric river. Get ready. Yeah.
But anyways, I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Nope.
That's a horrible answer.
Close, but no money.
Anyways, we do try to be educational here on
Insert title here.
And I know I have learned a whole lot this week. So, Mars, what have you learned this week?
There was a show today.
Yay!
Brian, what have you learned this week?
I could make it through this show.
Yay!
And I learned what did I learn? I learned I could hide a key and get the inside painted also. I learned that Dune doesn't remember the Jackass movies. Sparky writes in, so Johnny, are there any roads that have massive construction from PA to Boston? All of them. All of them, too.
All of them.
All of them.
Hey, we're coming into construction season.
I take, what do I take? I take 84 yeah, I take 84. I don't think it's got construction.
Yeah, you can say Sparky your ways navigation next time just in case.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to come in from Pennsy, you take 84 across New York into Connecticut, and from there you could, well, I guess you could take
around.
You could take 684 down to 95, take 95 through Connecticut, or you could stay on 84 and take that out to 691 to 91 to. Why am I giving him directions to my house?
I was wondering that. I was like, okay, it's fine. You can dox yourself. It's fine.
And then it's the third house on the left.
It's the third house on the left. That's how you get here.
Great.
Dude says, Johnny, at least look before signing off. Let's see. Sparky uses Waze. Dune's talking about floaties? Buoyancy on... Oh, there's a whole lot of buoyancy on Amaranth's stream. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a possibility, but also it looks like the Graceful Bard is still streaming. Did we straight her last time? I forget if
we did not, because she was ready to leave. She's usually ready to leave it this time, right?
She's usually ready to leave, but she doesn't look ready to leave right now. She looks like she's going, but I think we rated her recently. Not that I mind rating her, because I like the Graceful Bard.
Last week we did Pineapple Hoops, didn't we?
We may have. And Sparky already knows where I live, so he doesn't need directions. He just
pops in the ways. Okay, I know which way to go.
Hey, while you're here, could you steal my ugly tie? Thanks. All right, I'll have to peek in an Amaranth's channel, but we're gonna go raid the Graceful Bard is what we're gonna do.
Sure.
I think Dune really wants me to look at Amaranth. I don't remember how to spell Amaranth. It says, well, I think I spelled it wrong because it says she's offline and has 2 followers.
That may not be her.
that may not.
That's
actually,
a troll account, I'm sure.
That is not the real Amaranth. But there's a lot of there's a lot of girls in swimsuits is what there is, and I don't.
This
think...
is spring break, isn't it?
And there is lots of buoyancy. No one is going to sink. That is for sure. Anyways, let's go ahead raid the Graceful Bard, and we will see you all next week. Unless
Well, you're raiding the Graceful Bard. Where's Dude and Sparky are gonna go? That's the question.
Well, multiple tabs. You just do a split screen, obviously.
There you go.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. You all have a great evening. There we go. All right, that was fun.
All right. Sorry, I overslept.
Well, no, it's all good.
No problem. You made it, man.
You made it.
And I did too.
You made it through the whole stream. You have a great nap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, we'll see you.